Almost impossible to get up before the sun now. We are approaching the longest day. The longest day is everything just seems to kind of add up to that day. It's the most productive time within the entire year. And I'm starting to see that within my colonies, especially now that they have pollen and nectar flowing into the nests. That sure helps to have that free, fresh stuff. And warmth finally. So things seem to be taking that step forward. I'm optimistic, but as typical, cautiously optimistic. I have an underlying concern within my nests right now, and I think that's what I've been seeing over the last, or maybe it's amplified what I've been seeing over the last little while. Kind of that slow nature of the nest, those tough brood nests, the hives just kind of staggering with their development. A lot of that has to do with the cold. There's no doubt about that. But disease is the underlying issue, which has resulted, well, I'd say this cold weather, cold, slow spring has just kind of amplified the entire issue and allowed the pest to, or the disease to take foothold. I've been focusing a lot of my efforts on varroa mite control, and I think through the testing, I've had Derek out and he's done a pretty thorough test, and those levels are low, so that's a good sign. Viral levels, background viral levels, just can't shake them. I have deformed wing virus. I have sac brood virus, just can't shake that. And black cell queen virus. Now, black cell queen virus is also linked to nosema, which is probably right now one of my largest concerns. I have spore counts up to 28 million spore counts right now. And that delayed, staggered, kind of slow build-up nature of my nest, I think is reflective from that nosema infection I have within my nests. And I don't know what to do about that. There's a treatment I could use. I've used it, I've tested it, and it's the best thing for the bees is continued sunshine, fresh pollen and nectar coming into the nests, and more of a stress-free environment. And hopefully they're going to be able to shake some of this disease pressure off them as they can step forward. More young bees, amplified brood nest, and build up, build up, build up. And hopefully I can build myself or these colonies up out of this disease pressure before they start falling back in fall. So we'll just see how things go here. Hardly need smoke in this yard. The lilacs have made an appearance, and the bees are actually in the lilacs this year. Likely due to all the moisture that we've received. Absolutely spectacular. Equalizing one of my tougher yards. This yard we have not been able to get into because it's been saturated. Not flooding, but just saturated. These pallets have been sitting in water practically all spring. I sat them down and I just could not get back in here to remove them, so unfortunately they sat with wet feet for many, many, many weeks. It's finally starting to dry up with the growth of grass. This yard was really hard done by, but it's coming along. We're equalizing through, and she's going to make a honey crop. So I'm going to move this out tonight before the rains come back so I can actually get them out now. I have the opportunity to. We're working through, we'll get everything equalized, and then back out to high ground somewhere. Sure is nice to see their growth again. We haven't mowed this yard because we're going to move the bees out. There's no use wasting our time with the lawnmower. So we're walking in ticks. This hive might be borderline for a split. We'll see. Looking on the bottom, they look pretty strong. Here's a good frame of feed. No shortage of feed on this colony. Beautiful brood nest though. Here is a frame of eggs. She's got to be close. This is a frame of eggs, open larvae. Pollen, just beautiful. Honey around the outside. I feel like I'm missing her. Well, if I have, I'll be going through the whole nest again. Gorgeous. Packing it full of pollen. And packing it full of brood. Nice frame of brood. And this one's being staggered with pollen. This hive is definitely big enough to give a split. It's just a little off center. They're sure bringing in that pollen. They're going to use that over the next few days, so I'm not too concerned about being all bunged up. They'll eat that and they'll turn it straight into brood. Same here, lots of pollen, lots of mature brood. You're bunging the nest up with pollen, as you can see. So it's hard to count these frames. So I count capped brood. This brood's going to emerge in the next 3 or 4 days. So that's a partial frame of brood. This is a partial frame of brood. Probably count that as half a frame. This frame here, this is old brood emerging. This is the tough nature of the nest that they're trying to shake out, and they are as they proceed here. And a slab of brood on this side. Absolutely beautiful. I'm going to take this one. This will be a nice boost to a small colony. She better be on this last frame, otherwise I got to go through again. Nice frame of brood. So you can almost count this as a frame of brood with the bees on it. Mature brood. And she'll be on this last one. Either that or I gotta go through the whole nest again. Get some honey in here. Organized very nicely. Cap brood, mature larvae going out. Got some pollen stores here, honey stores. Very valuable frame. And eggs. She could be here. She's not. So I'll go through again. The pains of looking for the queen. That's why I try to do a lot of my work now with procedures that avoid looking for the queen. This year we have no choice as we go through and equalize. I bet you she is on that first frame. I feel like she should be on this frame. Want to go through this colony and take a look? I can't find her. Well, that was a failed attempt. I'm going to pass that along to somebody else. Yeah, you can pick one. While you're there, could you bring me a frame of honey? Lots of pollen being stored. Anywhere there's space, there's eggs. This colony is not busting. I think we'll skim a frame of brood anyways. It's probably a good frame here.
This frame you have at the moment?
We are absolutely skimming. In a normal year, this hive would be behind the rest. There she is there. This little blackie. She's hardly big enough to take. But we have some time, so I'm going to take that frame of brood, put this empty one in the center. Not going to take any shakes of bees. What box did you, oh, that box? I'm going to put this in Carrie's nuke box there. That finishes up the yard. Any luck? Two sets of eyes and still no queen. Son of a gun. She must be on a sidewall. Let me just take a peek here. The only other thing we could do is just shake the bees and bring that frame of brood. Let's let Carrie take a look through. Yeah. Carrie, could you take a quick look through here?
What's that? Yeah, can you see in a second?
see if there's, maybe
Yeah.
check that there.
Yeah.
Make sure she doesn't fall into the grass. Frustrations of finding queens. Such a time draw, but completely necessary when you scrape the bottom of the barrel, trying to equalize out the yards.